Ladies and gentlemen, we have entered Canelo Alvarez and Edgar Berlanga fight week. It's time to make our final predictions. Right now, for me, it is Tuesday right now, and we have the grand arrivals already going down. Canelo went there. Berlanga obviously arrived, and he was with a little kid with the ski mask, and you know, it's getting real. It's getting real. Now's the time to finally make our predictions. I know we've all got Canelo Alvarez, I think, you know, pretty convincingly, but ultimately, how can Edgar Berlanga shock the world? How can he pull off the biggest upset in recent history in the sport of boxing by beating Canelo Alvarez? I would argue, you know, if he does that, if he finds a way, that's the biggest upset that we've had in a minute, you know? So how does he do it, though? How does he do it? How do you take down a guy that's already faced fighters that are way better than Edgar Berlanga? What does Edgar Berlanga have that, you know, Canelo hasn't already seen that would somewhat intimidate him? And, you know, the only thing I can really think of is the youth on the side of Berlanga. Other than that, there's not really a lot of routes to victory. You got to hope that Canelo Alvarez slows down, because if he doesn't slow down, you're probably going to get stopped. And it's been a conversation about how does Edgar Berlanga go about this fight? What does he need to do to at least gain the respect of fans, right? How do you gain the respect of fans even though you're probably going to lose this fight? In my opinion, he's going to lose the fight, and I think Canelo's going to get his first stoppage since Caleb Plant, and I think it's going to be, you know, pretty vicious if I had to make a prediction for it. But how does Edgar Berlanga gain the respect of the fans? Because a lot of people are talking about how he's overhyped. A lot of people say they don't like him. He's not a very well-received Puerto Rican fighter, despite being from Brooklyn and having, you know, he should have that big Puerto Rican and New York fan base, but he doesn't really have it. He was a big star under Top Rank, but now he's facing a guy that I think is you know, too experienced for him, and he's facing the cash cow. Obviously, he's going to get paid, you know, but he's got to go in there with that mindset of, how do I win the hearts of all these fans? Because everybody's expecting Canelo to beat you, so you're already getting the biggest payday of your career. This is probably going to be the you know, high point of all of your fights, right? It has to be up until now, and it probably will be even after this fight. So you got to take advantage of it. You're already going to get paid, right? You're already facing the biggest fighter in the world. All that is, you know, already set in stone. So what do you want to get out of this fight? What do you want to accomplish when you step foot in that ring? Do you want to just survive like Charlo, or do you want to maybe go out on your shield like a guy like Caleb Plant would do? So it's all up to him. You know, I know he doesn't like Caleb Plant, but I think he's definitely looking at that fight and taking some notes. He's going to have to somewhat box intelligently to stay away from getting stopped. Maybe buzz Canelo Alvarez, land some clean shots to make him think twice about, you know, walking Berlanga down. And like I said before, he's the younger fighter. If anything, he should be the fighter that's more in his prime, as opposed to Canelo, who, despite his age not being that old, has a lot of miles, a lot of professional fights in Mexico, and then coming to the US and fighting some of the tougher opponents, and you know, he has a good resume. We already know that, but for Berlanga, it's very important to not just survive in this fight. You know, we've already seen Charlo do that. We've already seen, you know, Munguia try to get Canelo, you know, get his combinations out, be an exciting and offensive fighter, wasn't able to do it, but still his stock didn't really decrease because nobody really saw Munguia beating Canelo Alvarez. But Berlanga, I would argue, is going to be an even bigger underdog in this fight against Canelo, and I think it's really important that he goes in there and tries to make a statement early. And you know, it's better that he goes in there and shows his heart and fights like he typically would, very much on the front foot, hunting his opponent down. You know, like I said before, he's probably going to lose either way, so it's like to take the whole objective, in my opinion, and I'm not saying he should think like he's going to lose the fight already, and you know, that's a bad way to look at it. But for me, if I'm just controlling this guy's career, I'm thinking, you know, if you get knocked out, it's easy for me to say, right? But if you get knocked out, at least, you know, even if it doesn't go 12 rounds and you get knocked out, people are going to respect that, as opposed to you just being in the ring with Canelo Alvarez just to survive the fight and say that you fought Canelo. I don't think that, you know, he should take that route and just be in there to survive with Canelo. I think he's got to go in there. He really has to go in there and try, you know, do his best to hurt this guy. If he can't hurt him, you know, he's gonna have to bring out the kitchen sink and everything everything more to beat a guy like Canelo Alvarez, or to even, you know, land something clean. So Berlanga's gonna have to, you know, show the fans that he really wants this fight. He's not here just to, you know, pick up a check, because a lot of people think that. People think that he's just here to take a check and that Canelo's just gonna walk through him. He's got to prove the people wrong. You know, come in there with an offensive warrior mindset, and, you know, whatever happens, happens. I think that's all he has to do. And at least, you know, if he does lose this fight like we expect, maybe he gets a Caleb Plant fight. You know, who knows what happens. There's still a big narrative for that, assuming, you know, Macumbi and Caleb Plant fight, and then Plant wins that fight. You know, you still have that as an option, win or lose against Canelo. And I don't think Berlanga's going to win this fight, but there are still options for him after. He could still be an exciting fighter at 68 and fight guys like, you know, Benavidez. I think that's a bad fight for him, but, you know, Caleb Plant is a good fight, because he's probably going to lose to Caleb Plant as well, but that fight still is a big fight for boxing fans. I don't know if it's a pay-per-view, but it could definitely co-main event another Canelo fight, and I wouldn't be mad at that as a co-main event in the future. But I gotta go with Canelo. You guys know, even at this point in his career, we could see some lapses in judgment from Canelo Alvarez. The timing could be off with the younger fighter, and then we've always seen that weakness in the stamina. Now that Canelo's getting a little bit older, he's definitely not the same fighter he was 5 to 6 years ago. So we could, you know, give Berlanga that. He's the younger fighter. Maybe he has better stamina, but I don't think that he's going to be able to take Canelo's shots. I don't even think, you know, he definitely can't take his best shot if I had to guess. And in my evaluation, I don't even think, you know, Canelo's 80% shot, you know, Berlanga will be able to take. But we'll see what happens. Hopefully we get a more competitive fight than I'm anticipating, because I don't think it's going to be very competitive. I think, you know, Berlanga could win rounds early, but if anything, it's just, you know, Canelo getting into a groove. You know, he's a slow starter. He doesn't really do much in the first 2 to 3 rounds, but then as he soon starts to adjust to that rhythm that you have and starts to walk you down, it's like, how do you handle that pressure? It's a lot like, you know, how Tank is. These guys that are very come forward in that high guard and aren't afraid to get hit with some shots, because they know that, you know, you're on the back foot. They're going to pressure you until they break you. And I think Berlanga's going to have to really show that he's down to fight, that he can handle it, that he can take Canelo's best shot. Because if he can't, he's going to get stopped. But, you know, it's better than just being there to survive and get your check. To get the respect of the fans, he's got to go in there and fight and, you know, go out on a shield if he has to. So that's what Berlanga has to do. Maybe he can pull it off. I just don't see it. I got Canelo like most of us do, but, you know, we're going to have to depend on Father Time to, you know, give Berlanga possibly the biggest upset in, you know, sports since I don't even know what, you know, Anthony Joshua and Andy Ruiz. But I don't know. I think that, you know, Canelo's going to do his thing, but it should be an exciting fight while it does last. Let's just say that. So I'm going to go with Canelo inside of 7 rounds. I think he gets Berlanga out of there. But let me know in the comments what you guys think. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you guys on the next Nabs boxing video. Peace. That's going to do it for another Nabs Fight Media video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's been your boy, Matt Nabong, with another video. Hope you guys enjoyed it all. Thank you guys for the constant support. Salute to y'all always. It's been your boy.